Hello everyone, so today's topic I'm going to talk about territorial aggression in Loricariidae. So while Loricariidae, plecos might look peaceful, relaxing, even cute, they can be far from it. People are notorious anyway for misunderstanding communication and behaviour of other animals, often as they communicate very differently from how humans, primates or even maybe mammals interact. But even then, it's notorious how bad humans can even understand the cat behaviour. And behaviour between different animals might not, obviously not be vocal, or might not always show the sort of facial expressions that we expect from complex behaviour. Different taxa will show completely different behaviour though within Loricariidae. A quick disclaimer though is that even though an interaction might be negative or so between members of different species and members of the same species, it can be useful for enrichment and mental stimulation as long as both individuals have a chance to escape from each other and a retreat. So it's not all bad, you just need the right amount of space to allow for those interactions, and maybe if you don't, work out a way of catering for it, because having two of the same species doesn't mean they need the same size tank as having one. Some taxa are also more aggressive and territorial than others, and also this is regardless of size. I've experienced much larger species and individuals showing territorial aggression to smaller species, and this may be more general aggression. So the first subfamily I'm really going to go through, and this is more of a specific one, is Hypopotamae, which is your sort of dwarf plecos, Otocinclus, Hypopotama, Histonotus. And these are generally very social shoaling fishes, particularly Otocinclus, as you can see, and they really benefit from being housed in a large group as they are in the wild. The other subfamilies though are a completely different story. Many are much more highly territorial than they are given credit for. Often these behaviours are confused with reproductive behaviour, which is generally a lot less dramatic, particularly in what I've a lot of experience with, which is Hypostomae, so therefore Hypencistrus, Panax, Panacus, Barincistrus, Ancistrus, Ketostoma, all of the more common species. And breeding behaviours may be a little bit more subtle in general. Of course, there's one exception really to the Hypostomae rule that I can really say is a definite, and this is Ancistrus. While the common bristlenose Ancistrus aepsirosis is quite a territorial species, there are many Ancistrus within that genus, species within that genus that are a real exception. Ancistrus ranunculus, for example, is gregarious, and social interactions and social contact is a necessity for the species and their care in captivity, and this is regardless of male or female. And I've also seen it to maybe a lesser degree with probably similar degree with Ancistrus macrophthalmus, Ancistrus agaboensis, Ancistrus sp 255, and those sort of similar species, even though they might not be the closest related. So generally these fish can do a lot of damage. You might have noticed that they do have very sharp spines, the dontodes on there. It depends on the species, not all have them on that a vertebral plate by the gillipercula, and not all have them to a large or lesser extent, and it does vary a little bit on species, but these can be particularly of an issue, more with if they're dealing with other fishes, like clown loaches could potentially be an issue if, say, they're both stuck in a cave and one's trying to get out. They're tough fishes, so they are sharp and they can do a lot of damage to each other. In general, they're also strong, so they can end up battering each other's fins, leading to a higher risk of infection, but also in general just they are strong fishes and they can kill each other, and it does happen. Some species attacked might even rasp on each other or attack each other as they're more using the mouth, and I see that in Pseudocanthicus where you do get like white patches from where they've likely been attacking each other via the mouth, whereas other species will more tussle with their pectoral fins, and it does look like they're sort of just tussling with each other. So while in mammals territorial aggression is often associated as a male trait, that's not completely true. You see it in males and females to varying, similar or higher degrees in either. For example, the spotted hyena females are a lot more territorial, a lot more aggressive than the males. In Loricariidae, it's often thought that a lot of people will say that males are aggressive to each other. This is completely untrue. Males and females will be equally as aggressive and territorial to each other, regardless of sex. Males will have aggression, females will have aggression, and between the two sexes. So it's always worth bearing in mind. And aggression does increase as the fish ages, and both of these are if the fish is a territorial species. Although some taxa are more aggressive younger than others, but it will increase with age. So while they might look peaceful while they're young, it will be a completely different story maybe when they're older. And even if they're sub-adults or even like just juveniles, that aggression will increase over time if they're likely to be an aggressive species. So what can you do about aggressive behaviour in Loricariidae? Generally, I would say the best thing is to really, as many caves, hiding places. It doesn't have to be like traditional caves. Tunnels are good because it allows the fish to escape if it's being cornered. Whereas you could use like piling up bogwood, piling up stones and slates, anything like that. Also the tank size will be a big factor. Bear in mind that the larger species are stronger than they look, and because of this aggression they could, just because of this behaviour and in general, they could shift lighter bits of decor, and that could risk smashing or breaking anything in the tank. Also crushing smaller fish. So it's worth bearing in mind if you do have those larger Loricariidae and you have smaller ones as well, if they're moving around decor, they could end up crushing another fish just under that decor. So just the lasting remark is research the fish, research the species, think about tank setup and think about decor. It doesn't have to be, we don't have to always obsess with the most attractive tank, most aesthetically appealing. And sometimes we'll be thinking about what suits the fish and will allow them to show natural behaviour, but also in a safe way so they don't end up causing too much damage. And it's a real issue if you're going to put loads of different species together in a tank. That can cause quite a bit of issues, just due to varying strengths, aggression, sizes. So bear that in mind when you're keeping the different species together, other than actual environmental differences. And think about how much decor, just pile it up. There's no issue with having loads of decor in the tank. Anyway, thank you for watching.